Hey, listeners, welcome back to yet another episode of Cables, Coffee, and Curveballs. I got that right?
You got it right. It's
I
our
got
fifth
that right.
episode, and you got it right. Thank you.
There
Finally.
we go. We're coming live to you again from Infocomm23, Orlando, sunny Florida. And we have two very special guests with us today, Brit and Craig from Moravian. English is not my first
This
language.
is why we let the guests introduce themselves, George.
Also very fair. So let's stick to that route. We're going to let you guys introduce yourselves as opposed to me trying and then butchering it.
You go first.
Okay, my name is Craig Underwood. I'm the Director of AV Engineering at Moravian University.
Hey, Craig.
That's me. And I'm also the Membership Chair at HETMA, the Higher Education Tech Managers Alliance.
Excellent.
All right.
All right, so I am Brit Yenser. I am the Director of Event Technology at Moravian University. I am the Communications Chair of HETMA, the Higher Education Technology Managers Alliance. And I also have a podcast, Brave Space, so I am the host of Brave Space.
Maybe someday we'll be on that show too, Rich.
I would love for you to be on that show.
Excellent.
Yes.
I just don't record anything live because I cannot be live. It needs to be edited for me.
We don't allow that, yeah.
Yeah, I am not allowed to be live. So tell me, guys, what, we're at Infocomm. I'm sure you guys have had the chance to walk the floors. What would you say has been your favorite part of the show so far, besides being on this podcast?
Well, I mean, admittedly, it is very difficult to top being on your podcast.
Yeah.
So be that as a given. I would say the highlight so far is actually being on this podcast.
Oh, look at that.
Because, to be honest, this is my very first podcast
Is that right?
that I've been on.
Excellent.
Yes.
That's a shame because you have an absolutely amazing podcast voice. English is not my first language.
That is because my voice is completely gone from trying to talk over all of the just absolute amazingness that is Infocomm 2023, especially here at the HETMA booth.
AKA
number
this
4489.
insane party that's happening right now.
Yeah, right around us. Yeah, his voice might be pretty cool. I think Justin from Crestron is definitely still number one. He's got that like smooth one, but Craig,
Yeah.
I agree. You got the natural voice.
You might have to give me a little welcome to 101 Smooth Jazz Radio.
You're listening to Smooth Coffee, Curveballs, and
Coffee.
Coffee, and how much coffee?
We need some more coffee.
I need coffee bad.
I was like, I'm saying these in the wrong order because
I do it all the time.
that's me. Yeah,
It's all good.
coffee, curse balls, and jazz.
Curse balls. We could do that.
Curse balls.
Oh boy.
That would be a great show.
Oh boy.
So you're saying that I do not have a radio voice because I cannot speak?
Listen, if there is a show, Coffee, Curse Balls, I would be great on it. I could go live, no problem whatsoever. 150%.
All right, I'm gonna step back from the mic for a second here.
Britt, what has been your favorite part besides winning a couple of awards?
So kicked off with the Higher Ed AV Awards, where I won Higher Ed AV Professional of the Year, which I am so
Hey.
thank
Congratulations.
you.
Awesome.
So grateful for that. It is incredible. And then passed my CTS on Tuesday.
Congratulations.
Sweet. Excellent.
Thank you. So, I mean, those are major highlights. As far as the show floor goes, we have our podcast recordings, that's a given. But the floor itself, I really enjoyed. Wait, are we allowed to name manufacturers?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I really enjoyed getting to talk to the Zoom booth because we've been trying to implement Zoom rooms on our campus. But because we're an Apple Distinguished School and all of the students and faculty have their own equipment, we're very BYOD, and we haven't quite figured out the best way to incorporate BYOD with Zoom Room. So being able to just talk in person with someone to say, like, this is my problem, please help me, that was incredible.
That's fantastic. So now that you touched upon Zoom rooms, we're going to go right into this. I am, and this is probably a very unpopular opinion.
Are you going in Hyflex?
You know I am.
Yeah,
You know I am. He's rolling his eyes at me.
I'm not rolling your eyes. I agree with you.
I am of the belief that it's time to move past Hyflex. It's time to come back into the classroom. Brit's rolling her eyes at me too. This is very scary. Maybe I shouldn't give my opinion.
I mean, you said it in front of a room of 100 people today. So.
Yeah. That didn't go over well either. Maybe I should change my opinions.
All right, well, tell us why.
Yeah. Tell us why, George.
All right, so I'm trying to find the short way to say this. I am always right, and
Oh boy, he's buying time.
no, I'm buying time.
He's just totally
I'm
buying time
no,
now.
So no, for real. You know, I am of the belief that it's time for experiential learning. Right? We need to come out of the traditional classroom where the students are listening to a lecture and so on and so forth. And for that experiential learning, where the next level of learning happens, it's going to be very hard to do that in a Hyflex setting.
Wait, how do you define experiential learning?
Absolutely hands-on. That real world, get down, do stuff kind of thing, right? So, for example, I'm trying to think of a good example. Like if you're in a nursing program, right? We have the anatomage. Did I say that
Well
right?
done.
Anatomage
That's
table.
permanently in your
Right? It's
dictionary
like
now.
engraved
Good
in my
job.
head. I had to call that Rich in the audience. Rich, what was that thing that we have in PACE called?
Mid presentation yesterday. Yeah.
For that, the students go onto the table and they're actually looking at bodies on the, not literal bodies, images that they could zoom in and dissect and all this kind of stuff and that experience. Or they have their the sim lab, nursing sim labs, where the mannequins are there and they're administering the medicine with dosage and they're reacting accordingly. So all things like that, or computer science in a cybersecurity lab where they're sitting there and dealing with the situation room. That sort of learning, I feel. And again, maybe I'm just really old school. I feel needs to happen in person.
George, shameless plug though, our MCA 165, our AV class, fully experiential. Every week we're doing a lab. We got kids students on the floor crimping cables, literally crimping cables, putting live streams together. We did the AV Olympics as our final exam. That's what we're trying to bring to PACE more and really push. And in the program that we're building, which is currently building up as a minor right now and hopefully eventually a major, it's fully experiential. The department we teach out of, everything's hands-on. George, you touched on it a few times when we were here about the attendance factor. We've gotten students, first few weeks were a little dicey, but once they realized that you had to be there in class, because we don't give makeup labs. If you're not there to do it in person, and actually experience it in person, learning by doing, right? That's what our big presentation theme was this morning.
If you don't cut us off, we will keep going.
Okay, well, in that case, consider yourself cut off, and I will jump in here and play the happy medium. See, I really think it depends. There is definitely a case to be made that certain programs can and should be in person because it's very difficult to learn how to properly wrap a cable over the internet, although I do have one of the most popular cable wrapping over-under methods on YouTube right now.
Maybe do a little plug. Let everyone know where to find that.
On YouTube.
On YouTube, fair enough.
So,
Literally, if you search over-under cable wrapping, I think his video is the first one that pops up.
I'm going to check that out.
Noted.
so anyhow, but I think there's also a case to be made. That, counterpoint. What about all the people that are working remote now in cybersecurity, and that are working from their bedrooms or their home offices? So shouldn't we then be teaching them how to work from home by demonstrating how to work from home, right? So
that's experiential.
So by working over Zoom, that is, by definition, experiential learning for that program.
Sure.
Fair point.
So, by the way, it's anatomage.
Whoops.
I believe.
Thank you. You might be right.
Tomato,
English is not my
tomato.
first language.
Tomato.
Yeah, fair.
Then again, I'm not sure what my first language is either.
It's okay.
All good,
It's
Georgie.
curse balls.
Curse, yes!
Well.
I'm going to use that forever now.
Oh, man.
English is not my first language.
We're going to have to
Curse
redo
balls
the
is.
intro over and over again on all our future podcasts now, because you're going to have that in your head, George.
So you guys were also at the ETC conference in New York at Pace University. Do you guys have any thoughts you'd like to share about the show? Thank you so much again for making the trek up, right? Up or across? What is it?
Cross over.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Over the bridge to Grandma's house.
Yeah.
Over the bridge to Grandma's house, yes.
There was a bridge involved.
There
I
was,
think.
yeah.
Might have been
Or
a couple,
tunnel.
right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
So,
Something.
what do you guys think about the show? What was your takeaway? Are you a part of ETC? Do you enjoy it? What is it that you like about ETC? I'm the incoming president, so I'd like to get
President-elect shamelessly promoting it.
Well, I think the listserv was very valuable. And the fact that it's not just higher end, but it's also a lot of other folks too. So it's a different flavor than what HETMA offers. It's complementary, of course.
Right.
And just being there and seeing the presentations and what was going on, like, hey, this is a really great community as well. And we're really fortunate to have our CIO in attendance as well.
Right.
And the second we got back, he's like, go sign up for that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That was
So I
awesome.
did.
That's awesome.
So now we are official members. So
That's Educational Technology Collaborative, folks.
it's great. You should sign up too.
Everybody should sign up.
Everybody should. Wait, I'm the president. I'm the incoming president.
Incoming president.
Sorry, Donnie. Donnie's the president right now. And hope you guys are coming to USC. USC, yes. USC, if you can. I know we talked about this a little earlier, but
We would love to. I don't know if it's in the cards, but we would love to. You know, what was so powerful for me to come and see you all is I was a first-generation college student, and I didn't really have a lot of experience with colleges or universities, even up until now. I work on the campus where I went to school. So having the opportunity to just see another campus and how you operate and what your students are like was really valuable to me.
yeah. Were you saying something?
No, I was just going to say shout out to our student, our star student. We allowed to, can we drop Cece? Yeah, we're going to drop names.
Yeah.
Who attended ETC. She's one of the students that was in our inaugural class. And she is currently in the process of switching majors from education. I don't know if she's switching to something in communications, but she wants to take the AV minor. That's how interested she is. And I'd like to think or hope that taking the class with us, and she took a whole day off from other classes to come down to the ETC conference with permission, of course, because she's a star student. But shout out to her for that as well, because that's exactly what we're trying to do with the program we're building. And the fact that she attended a professional development event is pretty cool, because I don't think I attended anything like that until I was a few years into the industry.
You know, at the end of the semester, we actually gave them the AVGuys entry-level exam. We let them take it, and you have to get an 80 to pass it. And interestingly, she was the first one that got, I think she got like an 82.
Great.
And she was like, you know what? I'm not happy with it.
No, she didn't. She got like a 77 or something. She just missed it. You got to get an 80. The AVGuys, the AV certified tech one. She said she studied so much, and she would. We gave them the option if they want to stick around, they could take it again. Oh, I just take it again in the next few weeks. Like, she sat there and retook the whole test over again and improved her score from like a mid-70s to 8, whatever it was.
She was
to
in
pass.
higher 80s when it was all
yeah,
said and done.
Yeah, on the spot.
So, it's funny because I, just like you, PACE graduate, I walked into the office because I needed, weekend money. Let's go with weekend money. I work. It's happy hour. I need a beer money. Let's call it what it was, right? And the rest is history. But I think that's what our field is for the most part. Brit, I'd like to hear from you. We are teaching next generation or whatever it is, trying to foster that AV education with the students. What advice would you give Rich and me to open up? Let's address the elephant in the room. Even this booth, you look around, it's primarily a male-dominant industry. What advice would you give Rich and me, Rich and I, what is the right way to say it? I don't know.
Rich and I,
to, encourage young women to join the industry or be a part of the industry, and how to mentor them, so to speak?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I certainly don't have like a clear linear answer. I think that you kind of have to throw a lot of stuff at the wall and see what sticks. Right. But the first thing that comes to mind is just putting yourselves out there in your community and making students aware of who you are and what you do. I think it's so easy for tech managers to be locked in their rooms, or even myself, like I do events, I'm around the campus, but I'm so focused on what I'm doing, I don't always stop to see the larger picture and interface. So the more that you can talk to students and pull them in and just let them know who you are and what you do, and build that personal connection, that can really help you to draw in a wide variety of students.
That's
yeah.
So
no.
we have our homework to do, is what you're saying. And by we, I mean Rich, because
George doesn't do homework, even to this day.
No.
Well, the ironic thing, it could have just been by pure luck, but we were encouraged by the fact that I don't remember the exact number. 12, 13 of our 20 students in our initial class that just ran were female. So I haven't checked this semester yet for what's going, but also as a girl dad, it gives me it warms it's heartwarming to me that this movement is occurring now and that we're talking about it. And for my girls who are growing up in a very different era, obviously being 8 and 4, they're ingrained with the technology. I think Tony put it best this morning. They have a devices as basically appendages from the time they're 2 years old, basically, for lack of a better silly analogy. So they're growing up in a different realm of things. But as they get older, that can be an advantage for them and getting into these fields that are, as George mentioned, are traditionally male dominated.
Well, I think it will certainly be interesting to see, because what I've noticed is a lot of, these young people who, like you said, they're very used to technology. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're comfortable with it. They're very much consumers of technology, but they're not necessarily ready and comfortable with operating and understanding how it works. And, it's a challenge because by the time they get to us, there might be this level of discomfort that's already in place. Like, a lot of young women feel like unless I can be perfect at it, I am afraid of it. And so I think there's a huge, mindset that has to shift in some way, for young women, to let them know it does not have to be perfect. You can give it a try. It can be fun, and just pull them in with that.
Yeah.
Again, this is another one of those things where it might not be very popular, but I like to believe, and I tell all my students, it really is okay to fail.
Yep.
Yes.
Because that's how you're never going to get perfection, but that's how you're going to get better each time with everything you do, and you're going to find a new way to do it, and you're going to get there eventually, no matter what happens.
And to your point of experiential learning, part of that is how many of us say, I learned by failing. Like, all right, well, let's fail in a safe space where it's like you're not going to get fired if you fail. Like, part of failing, you fail forward.
Right.
To steal some of Brit's phrases that I learned from her. And it's
Fail forward.
I like that.
Fail forward, right? Because you take that and you learn from it. Like, if you fail and just keep failing, well, maybe that really is failing backwards, right? But every time you fail, you're like, that didn't feel good. I'm going to not do that. I'm going to change something so I don't fail in the same way. Maybe. So you learn from it and you change what you do. And so, because how many of us in AV have learned the largest lessons from a massive failure, right? That was like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to repeat that again. So we try and share those experiences with our students so that they can hopefully avoid those, but learn from them. But then if they do run into something, they fail, then that's okay.
I mean, I'll tell you my little story. When I when I left Pace and I went to the corporate world for a couple of years, and I had to go into the multi-purpose space. This is, a long time ago, so we were talking about rear projection TVs. Let's not put a date on it, Rich. I know you're wanting to, but let's not.
Itching, George. I'm itching.
But, somebody asked me to change the lamp on a TV. I was like, I've changed lamps and projectors a million times, right? I'm like a young guy, head full of hair back then, coming out of school. I think I know everything there is to know about AV, and I go behind that wall. Holy crap, I've never seen anything like that in my life. There were ladders. There were lifts in the TV, and I was, this is week 1 on the job, and I'm like, what the hell am I looking at? Needless to say, I broke at least 2 bulbs, which is probably why I will not name the company I work for. Did not tell anyone. But eventually I got it. Eventually I got the bulb changed, right?
But you didn't break 3 bulbs.
Nope, the third one got in
there.
there.
You go. So that's a win.
I like it.
Actually, I don't remember, but I'm going to stick to 2.
Well, talking about, you've talked about being a perfectionist. I'm still a perfectionist at heart, but I think over the last few years, I finally have gotten to a point where I realized I have to channel that opposite of being, what's the opposite of being a perfectionist? I don't know. I have to channel that.
Me?
No, but you have to be able to take failures in stride. I like that. Fail forward?
Fail forward.
I like that. You should trademark that. Have you trademarked that yet?
I originally learned that when I was a Teach for America Corps member.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Nice. But I like to instill that in my kids, my girls, our students, and even folks that are looking to learn something new in technology. Like, it doesn't, let's try it out. Let's see if it works, because if it does, great. If it doesn't, also fine. And that took me a while to get over that hump in my own head, and I still battle with that, honestly. I have hesitation with trying things because I don't want to fail something. I think that's a natural thing, but I definitely would admit to being a perfectionist in general. So tough.
But it's also really good to keep trying things, even just for sharpening your troubleshooting skills in AV. So let's take it to directly to what we do every day, right? And just trying to figure things out. Oh, this didn't work. Well, let me try it a different way. And so you just learn all these different skills or different ways of doing things that maybe it didn't work for this, but hopefully it'll work for something else. And it just continually sharpens that skill set. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you wanna move into the?
Yeah, we should move. Let's move to the fun questions.
Yeah,
Well,
the fun question.
we still got about 8 minutes to go.
And
So
hide
let's
these questions so you guys can see.
go ahead, kick it off, Georgie.
All right. So which one is it going to be?
Oh, what do you want to kick it off with?
If you could have dinner with any historical figure, who would it be and why?
Goodness. Brit, why don't
Too
you
boring?
take this
You want to pick another one?
I don't know, because...
How about number 8, George?
How are you defining a historical figure?
All right, let's go to number 8 then.
Well done. Pivot.
Let's find a different one. I can edit that out.
Nope.
If you had a time machine, would you go to the past or the future, and which time period would you visit? That's a better one. Would you go to the past or would you go to the future?
I mean, is
Back to the Future 1 or Back to the Future 3?
Obviously 3 with the train.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
that is true. The flying train is pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
That's nice.
I just feel like you're not supposed to mess with the space-time continuum in any way.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really want to travel in time because I will mess something up. Like, if I go back, I'll come back to the present time and, like, the world will be destroyed or something.
You bring back a baby pterodactyl and you go, oh, look at this cute little bird. And then all of a sudden it
Oh my goodness.
does something really bad.
I would bring back the Sports Encyclopedia and then gamble every day.
What?
What? Who said that?
Okay, Biff.
I mean, we're sticking with that theme, right?
Are we?
Yeah, well.
I like this one. So this is going to be tough because a couple of things are off the board already. We've been asking each of our guests this could be work life, professional, personal, whatever, any type of technology. What gadget could you not live without? However, the caveat is iPhone/smartphone has already been taken. iPads, laptop, wireless headphones. What was the last one? Somebody gave a good one. What did Weaver give us? Didn't she give us like a...
Oh, Keurig.
Oh, her Keurig. We decided that counted as technology because coffee... hello.
Yeah, I think
So-
I'd go with a Keurig too. But.
Yeah. So,
I'm
Yeah.
not really a
You
Keurig
got-
person.
yeah, but you guys
like-
are in a tough spot because a lot of the obvious ones are off the board. But,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be like your traditional. It could be any type of technology. All
I mean, I've got it. Do you have one?
right, so let's hear
All
Brits
right.
and I'll give Craig a second to think
Yeah, all
about
right.
it.
So mine, and this is going to be disturbing to some people, but mine is my VCR.
Wow.
Because my husband and I are huge collectors of physical media.
Ah.
We do have a collection of VHS tapes.
Okay.
And I mean, there's just this like sweet nostalgic factor to it of like, I'm going to watch this movie on tape and it's such awful quality and it doesn't fill my whole TV and I love everything about
Nice.
it.
I was going to ask you, is it the grains or is it the
Yeah,
bars that
yeah.
make you happy?
Yeah, it's
The
just
whole
that
experience?
grainy- it's the whole
Yeah,
experience.
yeah.
Mhm.
That's the most unique answer we've gotten so far.
Yeah, I
Nice.
don't think
well done.
anyone else is going to pick that, so kudos to you
Awesome.
on that one.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
All right, so I'm thinking about what I do outside of work.
Yeah.
Right? So from outside of work, what technology do I still need? Or the more I thought about it, the more I'm like, well, if I don't have any technology, that would actually be kind of nice. Until I get to weekend chores. So if you get rid of the lawnmower, and I have to go one of those push mechanical rotary blade mowers, that would make my weekends really unpleasant.
Yeah.
Well
so
done.
I think let's go with lawnmower.
I like
if that
it.
counts
Well
as
done.
technology.
Absolutely.
And motor technology.
Why not?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. That
Absolutely.
is.
My dad would be
great.
proud of that. My dad runs his own landscaping business for
Yeah.
for
And
a
now your
living.
dad can listen to us because we talked about
I don't know if he listens to our podcast.
Probably not.
Do you listen
I
to
know
my
my dad
podcast?
doesn't. My dad's like, I hear you all day. I don't need to listen.
Coffee, curse balls, and lawnmowers. There we go. That's the new
Oh
title.
man, we're gonna have some competition, George.
Yeah.
Maybe your dad and my dad are gonna start a podcast now.
not sure anyone wants to listen to my dad.
That's mean. All right, last question.
Sorry, Dad. I love you.
We asked this to everybody, present company excluded, of course. Who is your favorite bald guy of all time? Actor, musician? We have an answer that we hope everybody gives because we have our favorite.
You have the one guaranteed answer.
Who is your favorite?
I mean, I could give you a hint based on what's going on here. Welcome to the party, pal.
Can I pick Craig Allen Underwood?
Absolutely.
I'm a balding AV
Yeah,
guy.
he's not entirely there.
Yeah.
There's enough that isn't
That's
there.
fair.
How much is, how much qualifies to being bald, right?
No,
Like,
I don't think you're. I think, like, when you take pictures, your hair still shows.
Fair.
So,
for now.
yeah.
This year.
Yeah.
I'll come back on next year,
Yeah.
next season.
Georgie, who's our guy?
Bruce
Willis. We are big fans of Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis is the absolute perfect answer for us.
Yeah. So,
I respect that.
yeah. Fair.
Yeah.
Listen, thank you guys for taking a few minutes to chat with us. How can people get in touch with you?
Oh, I'm starting. Okay, yeah. We'll save the best for last. So, Craig Underwood. You can find me on LinkedIn. I'm occasionally on Twitter, but mainly LinkedIn. Craig A. Underwood. I think if you Google that, you'll find me.
And YouTube as well, right?
And YouTube.
Hear about that video.
The
Gonna go
over-under
check,
cabling,
gonna go
right?
check that out.
Okay, yes, here's a hint. If you look for YouTube username PHY350, stands for Physics 350, which was the name of the course that I used to teach, audio electronics.
There we go.
So I just threw it on there. So if you can find it, great. So that's your search and find assignment for this week.
On it.
I love that. All right, so I am on LinkedIn as Brit Yenser. I am also on Twitter as Brave Brit, and my podcast has a Twitter, Brave Space.
Awesome.
And thank you so much for coming on the show. These are obviously, quick hits that we have for Infocomm, and we would love to have you guys on the show when season 2 comes as actual guests on the show. Thank you so much for joining us today, and as always, take care.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.